Hi, my name's Dan Keane from Spitfire Audio. Today I've got a walkthrough of our new originals library, Rare Flutes. This was formerly the Andy Findon kit bags 1 and 2, and any owners of those pre-existing libraries will get this as a free download. This is a collection of 8 instruments split into long and short articulations. We've got the Chinese bamboo flute, Fajara, Ocarina mid, Bansuri, Chinese membrane flute, Ocarina low, panpipes, and contrabass flute. So a really eclectic collection here. I'm going to start off as the library loads with the Chinese bamboo flute, and this is the long articulation. I absolutely love using woodwinds within my music, either combining it with a string instrument to add a nice wispy top line, or sometimes just using it as a solo. I think it can really draw the listener in, and there's something quite intimate and I guess human about hearing a sound of a breath passing through an instrument, but also because it's got this wooden, more mellow sound to it, it kind of counteracts against what would otherwise be quite shrill in these higher registers. So I find it's really playable and particularly takes well to reverb. Now I'm using 2 faders here to control the instrument. I've got my dynamics and my expression. And so this allows us to pass through the dynamic layers with crossfades to create a really beautiful natural sound. And I use these in conjunction with each other. Then in the middle here, we have a button that allows us to switch between our controls, which are also at the bottom. For this library, we have reverb, release, tightness, and vibrato. And these correspond to different controls within the instrument that can help you get that little bit more control of your sound. And on the left side, we have our microphone signals. Close, which was a close ribbon microphone, so quite a dark, warm sound. Room, which gives you a little bit more of a stereo perspective. And then this is our new signal, the Super Reverb, which was created using a bespoke digital effects chain. So we can add a little bit more reverb here if we want to. And then if I combine that with our close and room signals, you can hear the effect this has on the sound. I'm going to move down into the short version of this instrument, which as you can see lights up our tightness fader here. This allows us to punch into the sound a little bit more if we're playing a particularly rhythmic section that we want to be a little bit more metronomic. At 50%, this is quite a natural sound, but you might find that occasionally you want to get a little bit looser or a little bit tighter with it. And that super reverb is really helping us there because it just carries a little bit of that decay. But if you really want to hear how dry it can be, if I turn off the reverb and the super reverb, in fact, I'm going to turn off the close as well because I want to hear the sound of the room. So you can hear how the combination there of the super reverb against the original reverb here help kind of meld it together and put it into a space that you wouldn't have expected was so dry before I faded them up. And I particularly like libraries that were recorded in quite dry environments. I find that I can add reverbs or echoes to them if I want to and create something that's a little bit more hybrid, a little bit more otherworldly. I'm going to move now into the next instrument. This is the long Fajara. And in this patch, we also have a vibrato control, which I'm going to control with this up here. Have a listen to this. It's really, really beautiful. And, that just comes down to the expressive playing of Andy, who has done an amazing job on recording this library. Moving into the shorts now. And as you play harder, you get that slightly more overblown sound, which is particularly prominent in this instrument. Next, we have the Ocarina mid. I quite like turning up the release slightly just to add a little bit more of a crossover there between the notes. And it sounds like there's an octave above with this super reverb, but of course we can turn that off as well. And as with the Fajara, we also have our vibrato control. There's something almost medieval about it. I don't know why that's bringing that sound world out of me, but I really like it. This can really help to add that slightly more folky element to your music, whether it's the more medieval influence or not. There's something nice about little ear candy that has that human sound to it. And with that super reverb, it could really contextualize nicely with any sound. You could use it with a synth or a string pits or really anything, but there's a really beautiful focus to that sound. Moving into the Bansuri. Similar story again with the shorts. So as you play it slightly harder, you get that slightly longer, more sort of marcato style. Really, really playable. Next, we have the long Chinese membrane flute. My favourite here is the Ocarina low, which has such a warm, mellow sound to it. if I disable the room and the super reverb and the reverb, I can show you how close we can get with this just using the close microphone. Add a bit of vibrato here too. Really, really intimate there. I quite like it with the room and super reverb though. Stunning. The short ocarina low there, really, really lovely. Our penultimate patch is the panpipes. Have a listen to this. Lovely range and really responsive too. The short panpipes are fun here because you can really overblow the notes if you play them hard. And going back to our tightness control here, if we turn this up, it cuts into the note slightly, but can make for a very metronomic sound if you want to have it buried in the background. I personally prefer it on around 60%. And finally, we have our contrabass flute, which I absolutely love because it's so warm down here. Something I would recommend doing, turn up the super reverb and then tune it down a little bit if you want to. So I'm going to tune down 10 here, but then transpose the keyboard up by 10. In fact, I wonder what it sounds like without the close, just the room and the super reverb. And then just the super reverb on its own. What's that like? A beautiful drone that's stretched out, and you can still hear the vibrato, but obviously it's been slowed down and, I don't know, becomes a bit more of a texture than a consistent sound. And finally, I'll just show you the shorts of this, but I'll reset this back to 0 again. There's a beautiful low resonance there that you could definitely eke out with a bit of EQ. So there you go. You can check out Rare Flutes at the link down below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.